CapitalofCombat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to recap the fight of the century, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, for all the marbles, the best fighter of this generation, the best pound for pound fighter right now on the planet. And before we go into that, I want to say something. Both of these guys are first ballot Hall of Famers. Both of these guys are all-time greats. Both of these guys have already pretty much cemented their legacy. This fight was really like the icing on the cake for both guys. They've already proven themselves in the ring. They've already paid their dues, which is why they made a stupid amount of money last Saturday night. And with that being said, take it away, Rob.
All right, so basically, again, the fight of the century. Before I go, well, fight of the decade, century, whatever. Before we go in, Leo Santa Cruz won, as we expected him. Yeah. Basilio Lomachenko won, as we expected him. And
he looked good, too.
Another fight was...
That was it on the card.
Oh, that was it. So, just so you know, they did what they had to do, and moving on. We hope they get better fights in the future.
In the preview, we said that the undercard was pretty ass.
It was ass. But they came and did what they had to do.
The Lomachenko fight wasn't bad. It was just one-sided. But to pay $100 for that, no.
So, let's go move on to the fight. Mayweather did exactly what we expected him to do. He came in, he controlled the ring, he controlled the action, and he made Pacquiao constantly think and made him uncomfortable. Manny Pacquiao had success in spots when he just said, the heck with it. I'm going to throw these punches, and we're going to see what lands. And he was successful in, I would say, 3 rounds. I gave him 3 rounds. I gave Mayweather 9. Official show stats were, scorecards was 118 to 110 and 116 to
12. 118. Oh, yeah. No,
118 to 110 and 116 to 112 on the 2 other cards. Not bad. I think the 116 to 112 was a little
close.
A little close, but with Mayweather. Now, it wasn't as boring as you would think. It just wasn't the fight that you expected. This was not going to be an all-out slugfest. No. Now, Manny could have made it more interesting by pressing the action a little bit more, but Mayweather just did things that were just worked in his favor.
Offsetting that aggression.
To offset the aggression. Establishing a jab, jabbing upstairs and downstairs to take him off his spot. Countering with the right. He actually did a great pull counter right and hitting him with the check left hook.
And getting out of there.
Now, he didn't...
All things we mentioned in the preview video, if you haven't seen it, it's down below. We said that he had to do all those things to win, which he did to a T. Now,
to me, I don't think he sat down on the punches, but that's because sometime in the fight, I'm going to say either the 2nd or 4th round, he felt something that he didn't like.
Yeah. And
you knew when he felt it, he was like, okay, this guy just hit me, I'm going to stay out of mid-range. As you see, when Manny Pacquiao came inside the fight, he grabbed him, he immediately tied him up, or he stayed on the outside as Mayweather, when Manny Pacquiao took that step or came forward, and we know Manny Pacquiao is probably the fastest to getting to his spot. Mayweather just took that slight step back, or he blocked it, even when he was against the ropes and tied up. Manny Pacquiao didn't really take advantage because there was a lot of punches that were off the shoulders, off the elbows, off the arm. So maybe 10 punch flurries, he might have landed 2 if he's lucky.
Yeah. Now, for everyone that was disappointed, I don't really understand why. I think it's one of those sheep mentality things. Everyone bought into all of this hype. And you had a lot of people talking on the internet saying Manny's a brawler, blah, blah, blah. Manny Pacquiao's not a brawler. Manny Pacquiao is a boxer. He's an unorthodox boxer, but he is a boxer. He has very good power, but he is a boxer. He uses his feet. Floyd Mayweather negated that. He uses angles. Floyd Mayweather negated that. He uses his feints to set up his power punches. Floyd Mayweather negated that. Floyd Mayweather does what Floyd Mayweather does. I don't know why anyone expected the Leopard to change his spots, but that's what he does.
That's right.
The onus was on Manny Pacquiao, the guy who everybody wanted to be the one to finally dethrone, humble, take out Mayweather, to do so. But when he got in there, unfortunately, he found out why Mayweather is who he is. He was who he said he was, and he did what he said he was going to do. Now, like Rob said, we would have liked for him to sit down on his punches a little bit more because Manny walked into a lot of shots. Now, had he sat down on some of those, we might have gotten a couple knockdowns on both ends. Because like Rob said, at some point in that fight, Manny caught Floyd with something, and he was like, hey, this dude is for real. I know why he's here.
And I'm going to say it was a counter left hand.
Yeah. I know it was definitely in that fourth round when he knocked him to the ropes. And it was with that left hand sidestep through the jab. We've described that many times. Adonis Stevenson really uses that move well as well. And Manny does it to perfection most times. Unfortunately, he can only catch Floyd with it maybe like twice. But that's why Floyd's the best. And he cemented himself as the best with this win. His footwork was superior. Honestly, I think I might have texted Rob this. I thought Manny looked absolutely terrible at the weigh-in, and I said this to a friend during the fight party. He came in at 152. Manny's not that big. He should not be coming in at 152. He was probably bigger than Floyd weight-wise, but Floyd looked like a junior middleweight fighting the junior welterweight. When you looked at them side by side, like the size difference was very noticeable.
Now, I will say this. There were some things, if you looked at the camps that Floyd was doing, that Manny wasn't doing. Mm-hmm. Of course, he had a reason in his camp. And I think besides Ariza's overinflated sense of importance,
yeah,
he does have a role. Floyd was doing stuff like swimming, the nitrogen chamber, constantly, and he does this anyway, constantly getting massage. And at times he has to bring himself back because he will overtrain. With Manny, if I'm not mistaken, is it Marvin Samodio is his
no, Justin Fortune.
Justin Fortune. Marvin Samodio is the assistant.
Yes. He works with like Provodnikov and everybody that is not super high profile.
So it's a particular type of training that has to adjust with age. Manny is 36, Floyd is 38. So that's still old in boxing. They've been fighting on the better side of 20 years so far, and that's in the professional ranks. We're not even going to include amateurs.
His amateur career. Manny didn't have much. I don't think he had an amateur career.
It was if he did, it was
very short, and then he went pro.
So that training might not have done him any favors because when he was with Ariza, when Ariza was in the camp, he came in, he was like, oh, well, darn, look at Manny. He looked like he's ready to go. Now it's kind of like he's in shape, but is he really in that kind of shape to go a hard 12 rounds instead of stealing a rest during the rounds or taking rounds off?
Yeah, we haven't seen that since the first Bradley fight. Like, that's when he really started seeing it. Like, yo, like, what is going on? Like, he's really taking breaks, like long, substantial breaks during these rounds. And Floyd took advantage of that as well.
Also, look at his punch output. To me, we know about, they say he had a rotator cuff injury, and that's going to be just those things, the training, possible torn rotator cuff, and the fact that Mayweather really controlled the action. Over a 12-round fight, that was the lowest punch output that Manny has put out. We're not going to include the ones that have gone short. We're not going to include the Marquez loss. We're not going to include when he knocked out Haddon or Cotto. That was, the 11th round?
No, 12.
But over the full course of a 12-round fight. And remember, he hasn't knocked anyone out since 2009.
Yes.
So
he has hurt people since then, but just hasn't stopped anybody.
But he can go 12 rounds.
Yes.
Here, I mean, he went 12 rounds, but it wasn't that hard 12. It wasn't that where you just didn't look like he's in the fight and he's going to bring the fight.
Right.
It's not the same because normally he would still go for the knockout.
Yeah. I think Floyd took the fight out of him in round one. I was sitting there at a fight party with a bunch of friends. As soon as round one ended and he walked to the corner, I was like, all right, guys, we can go home now. This fight's over. We said in the pre-fight video that it was up to Manny to control the pace, control the distance, and get his punches off, which he was not able to do from jump. Floyd took all of that away. And once he took all of that away, Manny had no other way of getting to him.
And now, him coming out with all the stuff with the shoulder, he thought he was winning, so he coached the last 3 rounds. You cannot do that with Floyd. Look at the first Maidana fight. He may not have been winning, but Maidana was trying to win.
Right.
So that is when Pacquiao should have taken all this and said, get out of here. I'm going to hit you and throw as many punches as I can.
Right.
Regardless of the shoulder. Now, they've also said there's this whole big thing. They're suing him. They're trying to fine him. They're trying to suspend him for not disclosing an injury, which he might have been hurt, but he wasn't. He might not have been injured.
Yeah, that's all big speculation right there. We don't know. We're not on his shoulder. But a lot of, like, even if his shoulder is hurt, if it's legitimately injured, he really hurt it. That really sucks. That did not change his footwork. And he was beat in round 1 with the footwork of Mayweather. Now, if Mayweather's controlling the range, he's using angles, Manny's not going to be able to get his punches off.
And there have been plenty of fighters that have fought one arm. We can look at just fought Kovalev.
John Pascal.
John Pascal has done it. Andre Berto has done it. God, I can't think of any names, but they have done it. People have said, "Screw it, we're gonna keep fighting this fight and fight hard, fight smart, but fight hard."
But to his credit, those guys were not in there with Floyd Mayweather.
True story.
They were in there with some pretty good guys, but they weren't in there with Mayweather. And you go in there handicap against Mayweather, might as well not go in there. But for $80 million, I can't blame him.
80 million reasons to step inside that ring, because think about it, it's a huge mega fight. It is the week, maybe even a few days before. You're not trying to jeopardize that because it already took 5 years to make the fight.
Exactly. Like I said, I don't blame him.
Neither do I.
I would have gotten there too. Like, I can't lift my arm. So what?
I would get in there with both ankles broken in a wheelchair for $80 million. But again, that's me.
Right. I think most people would have done that. So we can't fault him for that. And with all the trash talk that went on, he probably really believed that he could still win. So, that's the confidence that goes with being a top fighter. He just paid the price. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. So, unfortunately, he got nicked a little bit. Because, like we said, he's still the first 8 division champ. He's still the first 4 division lineal champ. He still fought multiple Hall of Fame fighters. He went through pretty much all the Mexican Hall of Famers in Barrera, Morales, Marquez. That was it. Those 3 guys that were really dominating the lower weight classes in the early 2000s. We went through De La Hoya, who was the man. Ricky Hatton, who was a man at 140. He went through Miguel Cotto, who's a Hall of Famer. I mean, the list goes on. He went through some very credible opponents to get to where he got. Unfortunately, he met someone who did the same thing and was just a little bit better at it. Now, Manny did better head-to-head against common opponents, but as you now see, because fighter A beat fighter B a certain way, doesn't mean the fighter C is better than him. The whole triangle theory thing. It just got shot to shit right there. I'm sorry about that. It got shot to crap.
So, where do these 2 guys go from here? Well, Mayweather has one more fight on his contract that will make him 49-0 if he wins. And does he want to go for that magical 50? Who knows?
After making $180 million, why?
Now, he can fight Amir Khan, but that probably wouldn't happen till spring. There's always the young guys, Thurman, Brook, Garcia, who I doubt he fights. He can go up to junior middle and fight
Canelo again.
Fight Canelo as another money fight. He can fight.
Might meet Cotto at a catch weight.
Right, with the middleweight title on the line at maybe 155 or 157. Shoot, he might let him say, go ahead up to 160. He might just do that.
I doubt he does that.
I doubt he, but he can probably come in at 155 and still beat Cotto. But who knows? And we don't know. Now for Manny, they said he would be out 9 to 12 months. Well, they said the recovery time might be 4 to 6 months, and then the training. If he really wants the Mayweather fight again, he has to fight, what's May? Let's say 6 months from now is November. And he starts training, or somehow he stays in shape throughout this time, at least some shape, which I doubt he does. Whoever his next opponent is going to be, and I really hope he retires, but whoever his next opponent is going to be, he has to blitz them. And I meant really put them down to create any kind of excitement. It has to be a name, and he has to, I don't care if he has to fight Adrian Broner, I don't care if he has to fight Amir Khan, whatever.
He has to fight somebody and knock them slam out.
And it has to look spectacular.
Yes.
I mean, he can even go with Timothy Bradley in a rubber match. I doubt that happens, and I don't think he's going to knock him out. But he has to look amazing to get that fight, that 50th fight. Well, to be for his 50th fight next May.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I'm not sure. $200 million base purse was on the table. That's out the way. We don't even know how much you're getting from the pay-per-view proceeds.
Yeah, those numbers are sounding astronomical because they delayed the main event because they were having problems with Time Warner Cable, and they wanted those people to be able to pay and watch the fight. So they made sure that they got every penny they could.
That's right.
And y'all gave it to them. And I'm sure they're pretty happy about that. You might not have been happy because of the action in the ring. Unless you were rooting for Floyd and you like really know how boxing goes down. You probably watching and was like, you know what? This is how I thought it was going to happen. I'm pretty satisfied. I personally would like to have seen Floyd sit down on a few more punches.
That's right.
But overall, I was still satisfied with the action that was going on. It was very suspenseful. Put it like that. We were like, hey, can Manny do it? Can Manny do it? Or can Floyd keep it up? Can he keep it up? Oh, he can keep it up. Good for him. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share with your friends. If you got anything to say, you can leave it down in the comment section below. You guys can, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. You can hit us up on Facebook, CapitalofCombat, Google+, same name. If you have any questions, hit us up in the comment section on our Facebook wall or capitalofcombat@gmail.com. Put you in the combat mailbag. We'll make a video response to your questions. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and gone. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.